Hello and welcome to another fun-filled nonsense retrospective. I'm your host as always, Rick, and joining me equally as always is Devon.
Hello. I don't know why I went with that one today, but hey ho, it's out there now.
That sounds like Salad Fingers.
You know what? I've never watched Salad Fingers. Alright, that's a bit of a lie. It was one of those things that it circulated around school and you kind of caught glimpses of it, but I never actually went out of my way and watched a whole episode.
Yeah, I think Salad Fingers has just, permeated the cultural zeitgeist via osmosis.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get too far into anything today, what we normally do to start with on these retrospectives is the nonsense asinine hypotheticals. And I think you said you had one for me today.
Well, before I give you my hypothetical, do you want to give the audience their disclaimer?
Oh, yes, there is a mild disclaimer this week. The universe is being dismantled with pickaxes around my ears. So if you hear any bumps, bangs, or smashes, then, that's what's happening.
Yeah, real talk, you probably won't, but because, as Rick eloquently put it, because there's nothing else happening near him, he's super hyper aware of it. So yeah. It might show up, it might not. If it shows up, you know what it is. You know people aren't getting brutally murdered in the background.
Plus, I can feel it through my feet. like literally, the driveway is being picked apart with pickaxes. I can feel it through my feet all the time.
I mean, as a bit of reference, trains go past my house fairly regularly. It shakes the whole house, but it rarely comes up on actual mic.
Yeah. And thankfully, the post-processing is pretty good with Audacity, so thank you, AudacityCon, very cool.
But yes, as far as hypotheticals go, I've got one that's somewhat related to what we're doing today.
Sure.
You have been granted absolute veto power for one character, and when I say granted, I mean forced to use. Using the roster of Smash Bros. Ultimate, you have to remove one character. What character do you pick?
I think it's going to be Dr. Mario, because it's just Mario.
By that logic, you can pick any Echo Fighter. At least Dr. Mario has a different moveset, whereas Richter and Belmont are the exact same character.
Yeah, they are the exact same guy. I don't think they've even got different stats. I think most of the stats in Smash Bros. Are based as a percentage of Mario, and I think they've got literally the same. Dr. Mario, the only thing he has different is that his pill bounces higher than a fireball. That's it. Everything else is the same.
I'm just defending Dr. Mario because I've got a soft spot for Dr. Mario. If that's your pick, that's your pick.
If you're saying it shouldn't be an Echo and it should be something that's actually a fighter and should be removed.
No, you could pick Echoes. That's putting too many strings on the question.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we'll go with that for now then. We'll go with Dr. Mario. Goodbye, Dr. Mario.
I'm not happy about it, but I will accept your decision. But yes, do you have a question for me?
My one for you, because I asked you the Smash Brothers question before, is if you had to change your accent to something different and had to speak it for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
For those of you not in the room, there was a very lengthy pause there, which will be cut out by the episode coming out, as I thought and pondered. I really don't know, to be honest. I've got kind of a soft spot for the Irish accent.
Yeah, fair enough.
But proper Irish, not Northern Irish. Will that sentence get me in trouble? You know what I mean, though, right? Because there's a different accent between those two hemispheres.
Yeah, the Republic of Ireland Irish accent, or one of the many thereof.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the city, because now I'm actually confusing myself geographically rise, and I can't remember if I'm thinking of the right place.
Well, Dublin is the capital.
Okay, I was thinking of the right one. Oh, I was like, shit, is Dublin Northern or Republic? Oh.
Yeah, no, it's Belfast is the Northern Ireland capital, and Dublin is the Republic of Ireland capital.
Yeah, I'd go with Dublin because, I just love the way the Irish talk.
Yeah,
I know some people don't like it, don't know why, but I've got a Cockney accent, so I also get ripped the piss out of. Well, I say I've got a Cockney accent. It comes out more when I'm in London.
And when you're angry.
If you know what I mean.
And when you're angry, yeah.
Yeah, basically. So I know what it's like to have an accent that's not necessarily favourable, but I think the Irish accent's great. I love it. And I can't do it without sounding like I'm taking the piss.
Oh, totally. A lot of accents, you can't just turn it on without feeling like it's meant to be a lampoon, you know? So, you can always do a Jacksepticeye impression and have it be a Jacksepticeye impression as long as it's not taking the piss out of every Irish person ever.
Yeah, literally, when I try and do it, I end up sounding like that fucking racist, stereotypical Irish cop from The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah, him.
Boy, that's a pull, because I don't think that character's been in the show for 10 seasons.
Oh, no. Basically, the other cop they have when it's not going to be Wiggum, Lou, and Eddie. But yeah. So, today, we're going to talk about Smash Brothers, but specifically, we're going to talk about hypothetical people that we would add to it.
Yes, one big, long, hypothetical wank.
Yeah, and we're going to go by the standard rules of they have to have debuted debuted in a game.
Well, I'll put it to you how I put it to you, Rick, because as a bit of fun, we're angling it as we get to basically tailor-make our own additional DLC, which is 5 fighters. But we're also going to add the stipulation of we're going to add an Echo Fighter in addition, as well as an assist trophy, because we want to have a bit more fun than just picking 5 video game characters we like.
Yeah. And there's also been a little bit of thought gone into how they would play in a Smash Brothers kind of universe, like having your side Bs, what your recovery move will kind of be.
Oh, Rick, I've gone a bit further, and I thought of debut trailers. But yeah, the way I thought this would work is you give one and then I give one and then we do back and forth. I think that's the fairest way of doing it.
Sure. So, speaking of debut trailers, the one gag that I thought of when they were releasing DLC characters for the first time and teasing people with the invite to Smash.
Yeah.
It was the Dragonborn, the Dovahkiin himself, John Skyrim. And the way that I envisioned the trailer going is Skyrim announced for Nintendo Switch. Wait, we already did that one. Just dust it off. Oh, wait, there's the invite. And the good old final Smash would be probably Fusroda.
Yeah, it really is the iconic shout. It's not a very good one, but it's iconic. Yeah,
because it's big. Because you got basic Fus, which could just be one of the normal attacks. But when you got all 3 together, it just sends everything flying. I assume items especially.
Yeah, and, clears the stage of items.
Yeah, clears items on that part of the stage. Possibly turns them into projectiles.
Do you know what I'd do is I'd actually just turn it into an instant KO. Is I'd have it focused on, but it could only hit one character.
Sure, like a lot of the other single character, I choose you, you're dead things.
Yeah, that's how I'd do it. But, that being said, didn't they give the Dovahkiin armor the Mii fighter treatment?
Yeah, quite a few of these do have a Mii fighter treatment anyway, so you kind of have these. There's going to be a few more along those lines coming up.
I mean, I'll put it this way. I've not got them on my list, but I still think it was a fucking travesty that Dante got relegated to Mii fighter.
Yeah.
And I don't even care about Devil May Cry.
Yeah, it'd be such a good parallel to Bayonetta, but...
Well, they gave his moveset to Joker, that's the problem.
Yeah. Except Joker's got a dagger rather than,
Oh, big whoop, give it a bit of an extra fucking hit length and boom, it's Dante.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my first one, is the Dovahkiin. What's your first one?
Well, you started with a pretty iconic character. Granted, they're about 10 years old now, aren't they?
I think exactly 11. Almost to the day of recording. I think it's 11 years and 11 days.
Oh, okay. But yes, I'm going to go for an iconic character. One who's a bit older, and I think it's a travesty they're not already in Smash. It's Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. You can just see his whirligig tornado move just being a side B that you just keep holding down, don't you?
I mean, I think his neutral would actually be his spin, and
sure.
I think his side B would be in most of the games. When you finish the game, you get a Wumpa fruit launcher.
Sure.
So he's got a ranged attack now. His up B would be maybe his up B would be a spin to help him get back to the fucking stage when he's knocked off and shit.
I mean, it's Crash. You can make almost any move into a spin.
Yeah, but you don't want
physics.
But you don't want it all to be spins.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I think he'd have the fucking same sort of intro trailer as Terry Bogard did, where there's a bunch of people just fighting for the invite. But because it's Crash, he'd probably just be sleeping on his island and it would just land on his nose and he just looks at it and goes, oh, okay.
Yep.
I guess I'm doing this now. And Aku is just like, yes, you should probably do this, Crash. Because that's pretty much the motivation of everything in Crash's life.
Yeah. Being told by Tutorial Man.
Man, that was a blow when that VA went.
Yeah.
His voice was so cool. But yeah, gone.
I'm going to throw in that I think you should be able to add assist trophies at any point. So if you do have ideas for assist trophies for any of these characters, they're pretty much fair game to add in.
Well, I was thinking more that if you're going to elaborate further, perhaps Spirit Board spirits.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because
Spirit Board can be anything.
Pretty much, yeah. And again, we've already set aside one specific assist trophy that we want to add. So with that in mind, is there someone... what would you do for the Spirit Board for Dovahkiin?
Just more knockback, really. Like the...
no, I meant characters represented in the Spirit Board.
Oh, okay. So Alduin
That's
is
a given,
big one.
isn't it?
Parthenax, because you don't have to pay the voice actor again, because it's Charles Martinet.
mean, you still have to pay him.
Well, I mean, you have to pay him, but you don't have to get another person in.
That's
yeah,
true.
It's Mario. It's the iconic Mario doing an evil voice, except it's a good guy.
Assuming that he isn't really bitter towards Nintendo right now, because I'll tell you this, I'd fucking be.
Yeah.
But that's a discussion for another day.
It is, yeah. But it's not out of the wheelhouse for anybody to get recast in these game movies. Like even Sonic didn't get Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah, but Sonic has had multiple voice actors anyway.
Yeah.
Mario's only ever had the one in the video games. But yeah, as for a spirit board for Crash, fucking take your pick. There's so many characters. You definitely got to put Cortex in there.
Yep. Coco, Torna.
Yeah, basically the cast for Crash 4. Who would be your second entry?
My number 2, I'm putting in Nightmare from Soul Calibur. He might be a little bit hardcore on the surface, but when you tone it down a little bit and just make it into a fighter, then he's not done anything worse than Ridley, Sephiroth, or Ganondorf.
Sephiroth nearly blew up the planet.
Oh yeah. And even when it was thwarted, like the planet didn't get away unscathed.
I'm surprised you went for Nightmare and not Siegfried.
I went for Nightmare because I think he can be echoed very easily into another Ganondorf.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are salty that Ganondorf doesn't have the sword. Even going back to his first incarnation in Smash Melee, when he has the sword for his victory pose, but he doesn't use it in the fight.
But he doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it, but a different way of fighting would suit him, And Nightmare does have a bit of magic. He does explode a bit. So giving that to a Ganondorf who would rather just kick the shit out of people is okay.
So I envision that his debut trailer would be him literally just batting people aside to grab the invitation.
Yep. Or picking people up by the feet and flipping them off the edge.
Can't do that. We did that with Kazuya. Dude, I loved Kazuya's debut trailer where he did the fucking Heihachi throwing in the volcano thing with like 7 characters, including Kirby, and then by the end Kirby's just floating harmlessly up in the background because it's Kirby.
And yeah, for spirit boards, take your pick of Soul Calibur characters, but also the weapons. The Soul Calibur and the Soul Edge are both things that you can just stick on to give bonuses to like light or dark attacks.
Yeah, but I imagine those would just be different because Nightmare wields the Soul Edge anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
So like, just have them be different variants in costume. Like, fuck, you basically got 2 characters, one, because just give him a Siegfried costume.
Yeah, in Soul Calibur 2, that's all they had for Siegfried. He didn't have his own character in 2 because Nightmare was so prominent. But one of the costumes was he takes his hat off, and it's very obviously Siegfried.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about you? Who's your number 2?
Well, you went for a bit more of a gruesome grisly character, so I suppose it's only right I go for one. I bitched about the most recent DLC because we got representations from every major fighting game now in Smash Bros, except for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So my pick would be a Mortal Kombat character. Now I ummed and ahed for literally minutes as I pondered which one to go for, and it's a bit of a generic pick, but I'd argue he's one half of the most iconic characters, so I got to go for Sub-Zero.
Yeah, totally. Like any Sub-Zero alt could just be any of the other ninjas, like Ermac or Scorpion. They all have different moves and flavors, but in Smash Brothers way, you can just reflavor the particle,
You wouldn't really work for Scorpion.
Okay, yeah, because he's got the get over here thing rather than turn someone to ice.
The reason why I don't go for Scorpion, by the way, is Scorpion is way more hardcore than Sub-Zero.
Oh yeah, impaling people.
And also, he's got a fucking body count, like Sub-Zero does as well, but Sub-Zero's body count is mostly jobbers that don't have names. Scorpion killed fucking Quan Chi.
Yes.
I'm just...
That's nothing to sneeze at in the lore.
I mean, fuck, I love Scorpion, but I think he'd be too hardcore for a Nintendo game. That being said, I think they do have Mortal Kombat on the Switch now, don't they?
I believe so, yeah.
So, yeah.
And Mortal Kombat 4 was Nintendo 64 exclusive, I believe.
Oh, yeah, but that was years ago. No one remembers that.
Yeah, but like Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, and 4 were all on Nintendo. Like, the Mega Drive versions of the first games were better because they had blood.
Yeah, but it's not the sort of thing I associate with Smash Bros.
Yeah, true. No worries.
That being said, though, I did think that if you're going to include a stage, you got to include the fucking pit. I don't know how you'd incorporate the pit with Smash Bros. Rules, but it's an iconic stage. It's where Reptile lives.
Yeah. That's the one with the sword spikes that you can fall onto and die, right?
It's literally a bridge over a pit, and the pit has spikes in.
Sure. I guess in Smash Bros. Logic, you'd fall on the spikes, take a bunch of damage, and probably get damage boosted out of it.
Yeah, maybe. They'd have to do something funny. Whereas in Mortal Kombat, it was a stage finisher.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Spirit Board is much, again, it's a fighting game. Take your pick. You got to get the ninjas. You got to get Liu Kang. I'd probably make the big dick legendary one be Shao Kahn, because he's always annoying.
Yeah, and good old Raiden, who's pretty much as iconic as anyone else in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Raiden's funny. I was tempted to put Raiden as the fighter, but I'm like, Raiden's kind of boring, if you know what I mean.
True.
Also, some cunt would get him confused with Raiden from Metal Gear Solid. Someone would get all excited and then go, oh, it's this lame Thunder God, and it's like, that lame Thunder God will kick your ass. But yeah, I haven't really thought much of the invitation. Like, yeah, it's a bit difficult to think of something cool for Sub-Zero, because he'd probably just get sent an invitation in the mail and he'd go, oh, cool, tournament, let's kill people.
Yep. It's par for the course for Mortal Kombat.
It really is. This time Earthrealm isn't even at stake. Fucking sweet.
Yeah.
But yes,
it's an actual vacation for him.
It would be. I bet you he'd fucking, some good guy would have a chat with him and he would make Slurpees.
Yeah. I can just see him turning up in a Hawaiian shirt and then taking it off, and he's got his ninja costume on underneath as well.
That would be okay. But yes, your third pick, Rick.
My third one, this is probably the one that I actually wanted to see in the most, Lahal.
Okay, yeah, I think we've had this before.
Yeah, and I think Etna and Flon would make a very good assist trophy specifically for adding in Lahal. Like, I think, like, his final smash being the big old meteor that he rides down while he's doing the is a slam dunk for a final smash. He's got a bunch of other sword skills that he has, but also, like, he makes his wings out of his scarf for a recovery move. I think he's pretty much a fantastic character to have, and anybody who moans about there being too many sword people, come at me, bro.
Again, that's not a real critique. Everyone who goes, oh, there's too many sword people, are the same people who flipped their shit and went ape shit when Sephiroth got announced.
Yeah.
It's like, people aren't complaining about there being too many sword characters. People are complaining that, oh, another character that I don't care about, which is fine and valid, but they never say that because they're punk bitches.
Yeah, and a lot of the time they're complaining about Fire Emblem characters, which, you know, they're profitable. They're shown to be profitable. Fire Emblem Heroes is the most profitable Nintendo property right now, I believe.
Yeah, but that's a gacha game. It's not fair, you know. Yeah. But you know, it's one of those where I get the I wouldn't say it's hate, but I get the dislike of having so many Fire Emblem characters, but it's such a small portion of the roster when you look at the roster as a whole. Yeah,
totally. There's like way more Mario characters than there are Fire Emblem characters, and that's fine, because it's Nintendo, and that's what Mario is.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Yeah, totally.
Because when there's a new thing added, there's also another new thing added that I probably care about more. I'm happy about the new thing I like.
Yeah, like, I've never played a Mario game. I still like hitting people with Princess Peach's arse. It's great.
You've never played a Mario game?
Okay, I've played some of the 2D ones. I've never, basically, I've never played a 3D Mario.
I don't think I've also played a 3D Mario, but I think that's because I don't care for them.
Yeah, I've played the SNES one, World, and I've played the new Super Mario Brothers on the original DS.
I'll tell you what, that game was fucking banging.
It was, yeah. Basically, I didn't care about it until a flatmate got it, and we realised, oh, actually, yeah, Mario's always been fun.
Did you ever play the multiplayer?
I haven't.
It was on the DS, and it was okay. It was a bit shit, because there's only so much you can do with that system, but it was cool they added it.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, with Lahal as my number 3, who's going to be your number 3?
1 second, because you mentioned a Disgaea character, so I'm eager to see what type of characters you would put on the Spirit Board.
Well,
would it be limited to just Disgaea 1, or would you get a bunch of protagonists from why'd I say it like that? Protagonists from other Disgaea games?
I would actually put main characters in from the other games and make his alt colours ones that evoke the other main characters. So, like, you'll have a Valvatorez palette, you'll have an Adele palette.
That's most of his fucking costumes taken up.
Yeah, but it's just palettes, you know, like Joker's got the Akechi flavour.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not slagging it off. I'm just saying, like, you got 8 colours and there's 6 Disgaea games, so that's most of them.
Yeah.
The only downside is I don't think you could make a female the whole, because it would be too much work for the animation team. game.
Yeah, it would. And everyone would only play Girly Hall. Man, in the game that Girly Hall's in, there's like a 1 mana bill to pass to turn Lahal back into Girly Hall after the chapter's over, and it's got like 100% pass rate.
Yeah,
so
because the developers are perverts and they don't care.
Specifically, also the Hogmiser gang are also perverts, and they also want to see more of Girly Hall.
Fair enough. Now, the reason why I think it would be a problem for the animation department is because they have to work with the same dimensions or make an entirely new model just for a character palette swap, which is a lot of fucking work.
Yeah. But yeah, how about you? Who's your number 3?
All right, we're into, I wouldn't say obscure territory, but territory where I don't think these have a chance in blue hells. I fucked up that saying, but you know what I mean. I don't think these have a chance at all in ever getting into Smash. But they're what I want to see, damn it. I'll start off with probably the most likely one to possibly get in, but it won't. Zagreus.
Right, okay.
From Hades.
Yeah, a bit of the good old roguelike action in our 2D Smash.
Yeah, and, Hades is on the Switch, so even if you got the strict ruling of has to be on a Nintendo console, it fucking fits that criteria.
Yeah.
Like, I essentially envision him playing a bit like Byleth, in that his basic bitch moves are swords, but his directional things are the different aspect weapons, so like he can get the spear, the bow, the fists. I don't know. I might go for the slightly weird weapons like the guns and the shield, just so he's not a complete copy of Byleth.
Yeah, like okay, there's no camera on right now, but I was nodding all the way through that. I can absolutely see how another fighter along those lines would work. Like even Link has shades of that. Even going back to Smash 1, where he's got the bow, he's got the bombs.
Yeah.
So it's nowhere near impossible.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, that's a pretty good pick actually. I think. Yeah.
I can actually see this one's debut trailer in my brain, in that it's just a conversation between Hades and Zagreus, and Hades is going, okay, boy, we need to send a representative to this tournament, and Zagreus is like, does that mean getting out of hell for a little while? Not hell, Tartarus for a little while.
Yep.
And Hades is like, yes. And he's like, okay, cool, I'll see you in a few weeks. And he just heads off. But yeah, I think his final smash it would have to be like a call. In that game you can get call signs, which basically gives you a super anyway, but it depends on what god you pick, depends on what super you've got. The only question is, which god would you use? Because there's like 12 to pick from.
And like I think most of them have got pretty good supers as well, don't they?
They've all got good supers except for Hades, because Hades just makes you invisible for a bit.
Yeah, fair enough. And that's already a normal power-up.
No. Yeah, technically it's harder to get, because you have to give a gift to Hades to get the gift back that lets you get his call.
I meant in Smash. Like, the invisibility item is a normal power-up in Smash.
I completely misinterpreted. My apologies. Yeah, it would have to be Zeus, probably.
Yeah, sure. Is that just lightning down everywhere?
Yeah. If you get the big, super big meter fill, it's a really big lightning bolt for about 5 seconds. But yeah, I don't know how you'd incorporate that, but that would be along the lines. Alternatively, he could just summon all his friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would have to.
Yeah, a bit like King DDD bringing all the Waddle Dees, and they just do stuff. They just go everywhere.
Yeah, except to be a fraction more badass. Like Megira, the Fury, and fucking Thanatos.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alternatively, they could be spirit boards, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Not having played it, I don't know as much about the other characters and how they're portrayed in Hades, but yeah, most of them are just part of Greek mythology, so I mean, even people just following along, yeah, it's just the Greek mythology people interpreted in a game fashion.
I was going to say, like, end of the day, like, Thanatos is still Thanatos, no matter how gay he is.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think Zagreus would be a fucking great addition. I don't think he'll ever get in, but hey-ho. Rick, who is your 4th?
Number 4, I think this one's a slam dunk, Papyrus.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so we've had Sans as a Mii costume, and we've got Megalovania already as a track in-game. Just having Snowdin Town as a stage and Papyrus as a playable character would be so cool, and his final smash would most likely be the really cool normal attack that he does at the end of his fight, fight where he just sends a load of bones and then there's one really, really tall bone and you've got to use all of your jump to get over it.
It's very interesting because I'm pretty sure all the way back when this podcast first started, we were talking about putting Papyrus in Smash.
Yeah.
Because out of all the characters, he seems like the best fit. Like, yeah, you could go for Undyne, but I feel like Undyne's a bit too serious.
She'd go a bit too hardcore. Like, if it was before she makes friends, she would go too hardcore. If it was after she becomes friends, she would still go too hardcore, but with a smile on her face. Whereas Papyrus, he knows that he can have a fun time with friends, and that after the fight is done, they can all sit down, have some soda and spaghetti and some hot cocoa.
I can see the reveal trailer of Papyrus being a massive troll, where it's Sans walking in a pitch black environment and just going, "Oh, what's this?" Picks up an invitation and just goes, and chucks it over his shoulder, only for Papyrus to grab it.
Yeah, just runs over it in his goofy Papyrus animations. Sans! And then he just opens it up and he just goes, "Wowie!"
He just thinks it's a party.
Yeah. Well, it is a party game. It's not a fighting game, it's a party game.
Oh, you know what I mean, though.
Oh, totally, absolutely. And I think Sans would make a very good assist trophy because he doesn't have to do much. All he has to do is show up, and then he just summons the Gaster Blaster, and then he just shoots somewhere on stage, and then he fucks off.
But I want it to be a bit extra special in that it doesn't discriminate. You don't get immunity to it if you're the one who summoned him. Because that's too much work for him to do.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, who is your number 4?
Number 4 is Judgment from Helltaker.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think someone from Helltaker should be in Smash because I fucking love Helltaker. I don't think it should be the Helltaker because he's just a dude, and Judgment's the only person we've seen fight. Plus, she gets to do cool chain shit. She would basically be Kratos.
Yeah. Like when we were talking about this last night and thinking about what each other might have preempted from each other's lists, and I thought, you might have picked Crash. You might have picked Kratos.
You didn't say Crash. You said Spyro.
I didn't say Crash. I said Spyro actually. Yeah. And when you said, not quite, the other one, I went, oh yeah, okay, Crash. And you had to remind me that Crash Purple and Spyro Orange were on Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, way back in the day.
But yeah, more about Judgment. I think the whole stage with the Judgment machine is actually a pretty good option for a stage as well.
Yeah, because it would have to be that or Helltaker's house, and Helltaker's house would be a bit boring as a stage.
Yeah, it's just a house.
Yeah, although you could have like stage hazards of Cerberus just barking at the invaders.
Yeah. All the stage hazards are just the other demon girls just sitting around requiring treats.
With the Sin Machine, the stage hazards would just be random fucking spikes popping out the ground.
Or the portal.
There is no portal in that stage.
Oh, yeah. But what I mean is, like, if it was the house, the portal would be there.
Oh, yeah. But if you go in it, you can't come back out, so it's kind of a dud.
Yeah.
Just a Beelzebub poking her head out and going, come into the portal. Oh, you actually did? Shit. Fucking love that reveal. I'm just like, wait, you actually... Why? Anyway. The spirit board speaks for itself. A spirit board would be all the girls.
Yeah, absolutely.
The legendary 5-star crystal would be the Helltaker himself, the Giga Chad.
And it's just that one art of him just sitting up sweating.
That would be great, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of silly nonsense you can do with her moveset, and obviously her final smash would be strapping you into the Sin Machine. But yeah. Don't know how the reveal trailer will go for that, though.
Yeah, that is an issue.
I'm sure the brainiacs at Helltaker, at Nintendo would be able to figure it out better than me.
Yeah, totally.
But yes, unfortunately, we have to come near the end. Rick, who is your final pick for a Smash fighter?
Now, as much as I wanted to say John Dark Souls, I'm going to go one step further. Would you say a visual novel is closer to a video game than book?
Barely, but I'll let it slide.
Artoria Saber.
Oh no, that's cheating. No, that one's a cheat. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Definitely did.
Absolutely not. No, that one, I'm not letting that one slide.
Okay. Well, yeah, as much as I wanted to say John Dark Souls, the actual one from Dark Souls we want is Solaire. Sigmire is a decent second, but when you think of Dark Souls, you normally think of Solaire of Astora, praising the sun, and if there was an assist trophy based on this, then it would most likely be the Mimic.
Most likely. Man, I'm sorry, I'm still reeling from you trying to say fucking Saber.
I don't even like Fate.
But my brain's going like, I would kind of love it because the anime nerds would shit themselves.
Yeah.
They would shit themselves with rage. They're like, how come this fucking bitch got in but not Goku? Because Goku's been around since the 80s.
Yeah, and he didn't start in a visual novel. He started in a manga.
I still think that's being real loosey-goosey with the term video game.
Yep. So yeah, I'm going to give it to Solaire for the last one. How about you? What would you have for your number 5?
Hey, you can't say Solaire and not give some spirit board suggestions.
Well, okay. Let's have some of the iconic characters from the Dark Souls franchise. Let's have the Primordial Serpents, just as a single spirit board sticker of 2 of them at once. Let's have...
You gotta have the Great Souls, right?
Yeah, you got the Great Souls, you got Seath, you got Nito, you got the Witch of Izalith, probably in her trailer form rather than just a bed of chaos. And who did I miss?
Gwyn.
Oh,
you didn't say Gwyn, you said the other 3.
Don't you have to get 4 Lord Souls though?
Gwyn's the 4th Lord Soul. Oh well, alright, Gwyn is the 4th Lord Soul, but you get the fragments of his soul from the 4 Kings.
Oh, from the 4 Kings, yeah, okay. So yeah, Gwyn. And then a couple of nods to other parts of the series, like you gotta have a Sigmire one.
Gotta have Artorias.
Yeah, you absolutely gotta have Artorias. Probably the other knights as well, Goth and Karen.
I think you'd probably just bundle them in as like the 4 Knights of Gwyn.
Yeah, the 4 Knights of Gwyn.
God, that'd be a hard spirit board, because you'd have to fight off 4 people all doing bullshit.
Yeah. Joker for Karen, because it's the one with the dagger.
Oh, you mean Siren?
Yeah. And yeah, Emerald Herald would be a nice one to have on there, just as the one nod to Dark Souls 2.
It's all it needs.
Yeah. And although I guess Lucatiel would be a nice one as well for a Dark Souls 2 nod. It's between the two.
What would you put in as a nod for 3? Or are you like, nah, fuck 3, it's dead to me?
I mean, 3 is just a bunch of nods to 1.
I guess.
The Firekeeper.
I'll just put in Slave Knight Gale.
Yeah, Gale's a good one. You gotta have Patches.
Oh,
but that's for all of them. Yeah. Man, just have Patches as the character instead. He just boots people off the edge.
To be fair, that's a strong fucking power in Smash Bros.
It is, yeah. Because that's how you win. Man, that would be a really good final smash of...
That would be a stage hazard on the Dark Souls stage of like fake items occasionally appear on the edge of the stage, and if you grab it by mistake, Patches appears and boots you off.
Yeah, that's a really good idea actually. Oh man.
No one would ever use items on that stage.
Yeah, I think Anor Londo's the go-to stage for a Dark Souls stage.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you.
As much as it might be similar to Garreg Mach because they're both cathedrals, yeah, it's gotta be.
If you angle it properly, it looks nothing the same.
True. You got the Silver Knights and you got Patches as stage hazards.
Patches like a 1 in 100 spawn, and people don't believe you when you tell people about it.
You gotta get suspicious when the Silver Knights stop firing, because that's when Patches is lurking. But yeah, how about you? What is your number 5 pick?
My number 5 pick might be too obscure, but I don't care. I want it. I want to see Eddie Riggs.
Okay, you're going to have to enlighten me.
The main character from Brutal Legend.
Oh, Jack Black.
Yes, and that is all that character is, folks, if you've not played the game. He has an axe that is a guitar.
Yeah, isn't it also like a real-time strategy and everything?
Yeah, it's so weird because the reason why that game bombed is because they basically lied in the trailers.
Yeah.
They made it look like character action, but in reality it was a real-time strategy. And it's not a very good real-time strategy, but I don't care. I had fun. I got to hang out with Ozzy and Lemmy.
Sweet.
But yeah, like the moveset writes itself. He plays riffs that basically summon magic. So there, just record a 2-second long fucking solo, boom, bang on that, and he makes fire erupt from the ground in front of him. That's one move. He's got an axe. What can you not do with an axe? You can swing it. That's about it, really, but that's good enough. And he has a demon form that lets him fly. Yeah. That's basically Joker's shtick. So yeah.
And a lot of people actually, like even Kirby has like 5 jumps. That's basically flight.
But pretty much, man. But
so it wouldn't be that OP.
So yeah, up B would be, he sprouts his demon wings and tries to get back on the stage. page. And I mean, come on, it's Jack Black. He has connections with Nintendo now.
Yeah.
He'll record a couple of lines. Why the fuck not?
Play the best game in the world. Or you'll eat your souls.
But yeah, that's my go-to pick. That will never fucking happen in a million years. But yeah,
let's be honest, none of these are going to happen, except maybe Papyrus, but then it didn't.
Honestly, next game, I wouldn't be surprised if Crash and Papyrus make it in.
Yeah, and hell, even Spyro. As much as we skirted around not saying it.
The only thing with Spyro is his body's weird.
Yeah, but you've got Duck Hunt.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it would be weird. That's all.
Yeah.
And you got to think of a bunch of moves for him that isn't just flame breath, because that'd get boring real quick.
True enough.
But I could imagine there being some meta bullshit with the invite, because have you ever touched Brutal Legend?
No.
The game begins with a real life cutscene of Jack Black going into a record store, and him talking to the camera, going, "Look, I'm going to show you this really kick-ass record. Oh, where is it? I can't find it. Oh, I knew I should have bought it. Oh, here it is." And then he opens up the record, and then you get the actual main screen, and you can interact with it. So I could imagine the fucking the invite cutscene being literally just Jack Black sitting, chilling, maybe with I've forgotten his fucking partner's name. Oh, Tenacious D, the other guy, Cage.
Oh, Kyle Gass.
Yeah. I could just see them two like chilling, pretending to jam on guitar, and Jack Black just being hit in the face by the letter. And then that's it. That's the invite. That's it. Eddie Riggs in Smash.
Yeah.
Don't know what they'd use for music, because there's so many metal songs in that game.
I like it though. Like, they can just have something kind of generic, but not as licensed, or just Jack Black stuff.
Yeah, that's true enough.
Because if they're paying him for the thing, then they could just have him compose something for their stage.
Yeah, and I can imagine he'd fucking love that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Look, the one thing
you got carte blanche to make something that's both badass and kid friendly. Go.
It's one of those where I don't care if you like or dislike Jack Black. I will be a bit hesitant about hanging around with you if you think Jack Black's an arsehole, because he's far from it. But the thing I love most about Jack Black is every time he makes something, he clearly is making it because he just wants to do it.
Yeah. He doesn't need the money. He likes being creative.
Yeah, it's awesome. I wish more people with his outlook got the opportunities that he got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to say that he hasn't worked for it, obviously.
Oh, totally.
But yes, that's our 5 fighters each. We're doing something a little bit extra in that we've also chosen an Echo fighter to make each. The basis of this is you have to use the base of another fighter that's already in game. You can't obviously make an Echo fighter from one of the ones we've suggested. So with that in mind, Rick, what Echo fighter would you like to see?
My Echo fighter is Dr. Robotnik, and he's going to be an Echo of Bowser Jr. It's a dude in a hovercraft already, with gadgets that pop out of the hovercraft. Like, it's an absolute slam dunk for Dr. Robotnik, and we need more villains as DLC. Like, we got Sephiroth, and that's about it.
We got Kazuya. He's a fucking villain by anyone's yardstick.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know the character quite so well, so yeah.
He's a dick. He's a dick and he's strong.
Yeah, I mean, people in fighting games that are not dicks, you can count them on maybe 7 fingers. But yeah, I'm going with Dr. Robotnik. He already shows up in like the Sonic stage in the background, but that doesn't stop you from having other things happening at the same time. So like, you can get a Knuckles assist trophy, but you can have Knuckles and Tails doing loop-de-loops in the background at the same time. So they don't exactly keep immersion or anything.
The thing I like most about doing Eggman as well is, as they demonstrated in the most recent Sonic movie, there's a shit ton of fucking costumes you can put on that guy.
Oh yeah. Like, they can even go with the really obscure ones, okay, we did episodes of all of the Sonic cartoons so far. Every single one has a different Eggman.
Yeah, although they mostly share the same design traits.
Oh yeah, they share the design traits of he's got a mustache, he's fat, and he's got like a red shirt and black pants.
Like the one, if they ever did do an Eggman in the games, the one old costume I would love to see is, if they could get away with it, is try and make a Jim Carrey one.
Yeah.
Especially if he's stuck inside his drone, because it wouldn't matter if they made him skinny.
Yeah, totally. Because then you wouldn't have any difference in physics, because it is just the hovercraft again. That's most of the physics going on there. Like, even the Sonic Boom one, he's actually a skinny guy. He's still egg shaped, but the egg is inverted.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Eggman is mine. What would you have as yours?
See, I was also going to go for a Sonic character, but because I know you, I put in my notes, if Rick picks a Sonic character, fuck that, say this instead. So I've gone the really lazy route, and I've gone Sans as Nez.
Alrighty, yeah.
Right, reskin Nez, and you've basically got a really easy, just, there you go, there's a Sans character.
Yeah, trying to think. Yeah, because he doesn't really have as much in the way of gadgets, but he does have the whoopee cushion in the palm trick.
Like, it's literally just reskin it.
Yeah.
Very easy. Like, Nez has got the bullshit psychic stuff, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He's got like PK Fire, PK Cross, PK Starstorm. Yeah.
Hey, just reskin that as Gaster Blasters.
Yeah, and the other things that he does where he just alternates gravity and moves your it doesn't actually, it's not him that moves it, it's you that moves the screen. But yeah, still he changes gravity, turns you blue, slows you down and all that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see it.
Like cheap and easy, and that's kind of the MO of Echo Fighters.
Yeah.
Alright, the last one, and most certainly not least, Rick, you get to add one assist trophy. What is it? Who is it? Let's hear it.
So, I think the assist trophy that I wanted, I think it's still got to be the Sans one, because...
No. You already said Sans.
I said it as part of the Papyrus edition, so...
Yeah, but when I said add an assist trophy, I meant separate from the bullshit that we've already bullshitted today.
Okay, so my assist trophy is most likely going to be Guybrush Threepwood, because he's funny.
Who?
He's the main character of Monkey Island games. They're like point-and-click adventure games, and they're narrated by...
Yeah, LucasArts, I know the game.
Yeah. Sarcastic, smarmy pirate guy.
Okay.
Well, he's not quite a pirate, but yeah, he interacts with pirates.
Okay.
And just doing silly shit around the stage for a few seconds is going to be pretty fun, I believe.
I mean, shit, you could go a step further and have him as like an Alucard, in that he fights beside you, but his fighting's not quite as impressive as Alucard's.
Yeah, fair enough. That'd work.
I'm just giving ideas.
Yeah, totally. How about you? Who would be your assist trophy?
Well, the funny thing is, Rick, is you've actually already said my assist trophy as a main character. Do you want to guess which one?
Who? Solaire.
There you go. I think Solaire of Astora would be a perfect assist trophy.
Yeah, thinking about it, I honestly don't know if he deserves the character treatment, but an assist trophy is great for him, because the Mimic is pretty much just going to be the Waluigi assist trophy at this point. So, yeah, I'll agree with you.
I've got it in my... Like, this is why I had the Alucard idea fresh in my brain, because literally you'd summon the assist trophy, you get the animation of Solaire being summoned in, with his yellow golden sheen, doing the Praise the Sun, and then he fights by you until, well, you know, he gets fucked.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you have any other honourable mentions?
As assist trophies, or...
Oh, just in general for this entire video.
Well, why don't you do your honourable mentions first, because I know you've actually got some prepped.
Yeah, I've got a few honourable mentions. Obviously, we've mentioned Spyro a fair few times. Rayman is one that people are absolutely astounded has not been invited to Smash already.
Yeah, I got very disappointed when doing the storyline in Smash Bros. Ultimate, and he was a spirit board really early on, because it's like, oh, so they acknowledge Rayman exists at least, but fuck, this is really low treatment of the character.
Yeah, and they have added spirit board people as characters later on as well. Like, I think, wasn't Sephiroth a spirit board before he got added as a character?
If he was a spirit board beforehand, I never encountered it.
Fair enough. Klonoa and Sly Cooper are basically the furry bait characters that nobody knows about as much as, obviously, like Sonic.
I mean, I was a PlayStation kid, so I'm aware of Sly Cooper. I only know Klonoa because they recently did the remakes, or remasters.
Yeah, and yeah, that was basically, from what I can see as an outsider looking in, never played the games, it seems to be a riff on how to make a Sonic game without using Sonic in 3D and make it good, apparently.
Is that Klonoa we're talking about, yeah?
Yeah, Klonoa, yeah.
Whereas Sly Cooper...
He's got his tail, ain't he? Yeah. Sly Cooper's like an actual spy game, like spy and thievery.
Yeah, but it also plays like Crash.
Okay.
Man, do you remember, as long as we're talking about like Crash-esque furry bait games, man, do you remember Ty the Tasmanian Tiger?
I don't very much, but I remember hearing it, so I've never actually seen it played or anything.
It got like 3 games.
Yeah.
It was just Crash, but instead of spinning, you had a boomerang.
Okay.
Which, you know, isn't racist at all.
Yeah. And the last one I've got on my honourable mentions is Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, to be fair.
Like, they've made pretty good additions to the game, let's be honest. And, did you know that in Japan, Ratchet has enormous eyebrows?
Why?
Because apparently that makes him look cute. And they just kept exaggerating it over and over again. So every time there's a Ratchet and Clank cover, the front cover version of him has enormous eyebrows.
So by that logic, Heihachi is the cutest character in the world.
Yeah. He has eyebrows larger than most exaggerated mustaches.
And his moustache is nothing to sniff at either.
Yeah.
I think we should give an honourable mention to your earlier suggestion of Saber, just because I think on a technicality you could include her, but boy would I feel real cheated.
I was amused at how angry you got.
Well,
I also prepared.
I wasn't angry. I was just like, I'm not counting visual novels as video games enough to have it be get in on the video game rule. I would actually love if Saber got into the game, not because I want Saber in Smash, but because I want to see Goku fans shit themselves.
Yep.
Because that's what will happen.
You can also poke fun at the Fate fans by making all of the different costumes other Saber faces.
Oh boy. Oh, that's a troubling road to go down.
Yeah, so you got Red Saber, Saber of Red.
Don't get them too confused. You'll have someone shouting in your ear for an hour.
Yep. Mordred. Oh, isn't Mordred just Red Saber?
She's Saber of Red.
Oh, Mordred Saber of Red.
Red Saber is Nero.
Red Saber is Nero Claude.
I think. Don't crucify me.
Umu. Except they're both red, so yeah. Oh well.
It's one of those where I think you can't actually use the video game rule for Fate, because I think it was a light novel before it was a visual novel. But I might be wrong. We'd have to phone up our resident Fate nerd for that.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, I know it was a visual novel before it was a manga or anime.
Yeah.
So yeah. Have you thought of any honourable mentions that you haven't mentioned? Like, I know you said you had a Sonic character on there that you didn't want to bring up because I'd already picked one.
Oh, right. I was going to have my my Echo Fighter be Shadow, because it would just be Sonic the Hedgehog, but give him like Joker's pistol move as one of his sides, and then boom, there you go, Shadow.
Sure.
And, like, it's not, I don't count it as cheating, because there's plenty of characters that are Echo Fighters of multiple characters. Looking at you, Lucina.
Yeah. I think Chrom is a very good Echo character because he mixes up moves of different Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah.
Like, he's mostly Roy, but he's got a bit of other things as well, like Ike. Some Ike-ness in there.
Yeah, I get you. As for honourable mentions, because we're doing them, so we'll get them out of the way. I think Aether/Lusamine.
Yes! Man, I was about to... I was going to say that, but I didn't write it down. I don't know why. But yeah, those would be an excellent addition to the Smash roster.
I think it would be a great tie-in when they eventually put Genshin on the Switch.
Yeah. They've been threatening to do that for ages, and I think Genshin has now gotten big enough, as in physical file size and more demanding in terms of performance, that it will no longer run on the Switch.
It's a shame, really, because the Switch seemed like the perfect console, but it seems as if Sony really did pounce and just put an exclusivity deal on Genshin.
Yeah.
Which, you know, for better or worse, like, I'm sure Sony's fucking loving the fact they got away with that. But yeah, as for other honourable mentions, it's one of those where I think a Skullgirls character could probably get thrown in. I'm not very familiar with the franchise, but like, more fighting game characters is always fun.
Yeah, totally. I think Miss Fortune. Oh no, Philia is most likely the most iconic one from Skullgirls.
Yeah, fair.
Because she's got the hair that has teeth and everything.
But yeah, aside from that, if we're going real low-hanging fruit, I'd want more representations from Final Fantasy that is outside of FF7. I'd probably immediately go for Squall, because yeah, it's low-hanging fruit, but there's a lot of FF Fate fans in the world.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of FF14 fans these days as well, after the Warcraft exodus.
Yeah, but I feel like MMO characters are cheating.
Yeah, fair enough.
That being said, I'd probably not give representation to my favourite Final Fantasy 9, because a lot of the characters are, well, they're not really... I don't think people would flip their shit seeing an FF9 character get announced. Like, I would.
Yeah, we would. Like, add Beatrix to Smash, like, everyone's happy in this podcast, but...
the problem is
that...
if you're going to add a character, you're going to want to add the main one, and Beatrix is technically a tertiary antagonist.
Yeah, at best, yeah. Kuja would be a pretty good antagonist to add, because he'd be different to Sephiroth.
He would, you're right, but by the same token, you could put in Adia or Adele from Adele?
Yeah, Sorceress Adel, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't making that up. My brain really fucking failed me on that one.
Ultimecia is the one that possesses them both, so...
I'll use Ultimecia then. But I think Yuna would be a good representation for 10.
Yeah, so it's not just another person with sword.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd just be like, I'll do Tidus. Tidus is very fast sword guy instead of big slow sword guy. Whoopie fucking doo-da-doo.
Nobody cares about Vaughn.
No. I think enough people care about
and
Lightning,
then going before 6 is going to be less popular, because basically...
They'd have to make models for one.
Yeah, people care about Cecil, people care about Terra, and Kefka would be a very good antagonist as well, because he very much matches the chaos of a party fighter.
I think they'd have to make a choice between Kuja and Kefka because they're too similar moveset-wise.
Yeah, Kuja might be able to cut it as a Zelda clone.
Zelda's got sword moves. I'm just saying you'd have to take them out and replace them with something else, otherwise it makes no sense.
Yeah, replace them with something else. Replace it with some other magic from
I'll take it from
something
YouTube.
Else. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of effort for an Echo.
Yeah, plus he'd have to float.
He would, which
isn't hard to program in. Like, you just reduce the friction.
Yeah. While we're still on this train, like, we touched on it earlier before, I think old busted Kratos from the new God of War games would probably be a good pick with his multiple weapons outside of just the Blades of Chaos.
Yeah.
That being said, like, he had multiple weapons in previous games, I am aware of that, but most of them were shit.
Yeah, I think you said earlier in another podcast that you've been playing Kratos and Atreus pretty much the same way as ranged fighters quite a lot of the time.
Well, that's a spoiler for the game that I didn't want to say. Well, because I said that before, I cut that out of the podcast because it was a spoiler for like 5 hours into the game.
Okay.
Which, whatever, if you've gotten this far, sorry. But yeah, you got that. If I'm being honest, I would absolutely love the opportunity to add the most recent Pokemon trainer as a fighter, and have the 3 Pokemon he rotates between, or she, be, well, the new starters.
Yeah, I always thought that Pokemon Rival would be a good echo of Pokemon Trainer. So either it'd be Gary or just another trainer somewhere down the line, like Brendan and May is a pretty good one. So just have May and have like Blaziken, Mudkip, and a Grovyle. Those are all neat. Everyone likes those.
Yeah, well, I think the issue is, I think you'd have to make a whole new fighter for it because, not because of the trainer, obviously, that's just a palette swap more or less, but because the Pokemon themselves are not going to fit the frames of those other characters.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would be too much effort, but it's more effort than none.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like, have the OG Pokemon trailer as a character, and then going forward from now on, just had another character that is new Pokemon trainer, but always have them be the most recent relevant one.
Yeah, and then if any of the Pokemon play sufficiently awesome, then you can just break them off. Because in Smash 4, they didn't have Pokemon trainer. They had just Charizard, which meant that you couldn't play as Squirtle or Bulbasaur at all. But, you know, who cares? You got Charizard. People are going to down B into Charizard anyway.
Yeah, pretty much, man. But it's like
Bulbasaur's great for getting the Smash Ball because it's above him and he just bullet seeds up.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's nothing... Oh, dude, it blows my mind that people bitch about Fire Emblem characters, and then it's like, look how many Pokemon are in the goddamn game.
Yeah.
When Incineroar got announced, I was like, that's cool, but I was also like, Incineroar? Really? Okay.
Yeah, I guess, like, they put Greninja in, which, okay, Greninja was a lot more popular than people were expecting it to be, and then Incineroar got in. Okay, that's partly because it's really, really good and competitive, and that's why it's popular.
You know what? I completely forgot Greninja was in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just trying to think quickly if there's anyone else I'd add. I don't think I've got any more honourable mentions. I'm sure there's plenty, but Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
It would be. just have him kick people going, kick, punch!
And Jamalami.
Oh, fuck's sake. I like Parappa the Rapper, but I can understand why people think it's shit. But I also like rhythm games.
Wasn't one of the lines in the actual game like Pacrappa more like?
I don't think so, because it was a PG at best.
Well, crap is not exactly the most inflammatory swear word, you know?
No, I know, but then again, I think the censors were a bit less giving a shit back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could sit here and scratch my head and try and think of more honourable mentions, but honestly, I think we've done a pretty decent job.
Yeah. And rather than doing our traditional wind down of MVPs and all that...
It's not really applicable today, is it?
Yeah, it's not really applicable today. We've been waxing lyrical and speculating the entire time. So... if you liked the video, or the broadcast as a audio version, you've got the comment section down below on YouTube, and if you are listening via one of the audio platforms, you've got our email address, and you can contact us at
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. Once again, that is nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. I went into the AOL man there at the end.
Yeah, we're receiving all comments, compliments, complaints, any suggestions you want to make.
On a very serious note, considering the topic of today's, please, for the love of God, if you're interested, put in your own little list of 5 characters that you want to see put into Smash as your own little DLC roster, because I'm eager to see other people's opinions. I don't know about you, Rick. I've not played every video game in the world.
Oh, me either. As we've revealed by the fact that you had to reveal who Eddie Riggs was.
To be fair, I feel like that's an obscure one, because again, that game bombed.
Yeah,
well, actually,
I remember.
I don't think it bombed. I think it just didn't do as well as they'd hoped.
Yeah, and like you say, it's because they gave people an RTS when they advertised an action game.
Yeah, I'm glad we gave that disclaimer at the beginning, Rick, because even though through Discord I can hear the occasional bang.
Yep, I can feel it with my feet, and I can hear it through my open back headphones. Yeah. There is a bit of banging about going along.
So hopefully that hasn't been too disturbing, and all that's left to say is, well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Keep yourself safe, keep yourselves happy, and it's a goodbye from him.
And it's a goodbye from him. Goodbye.
Bye.